My name is Hannah, and this is my no-buy year. When I took a look at this week's calendar and started thinking about what I was going to film, I realized with somewhat of a start that Sunday is the 2nd of September, which means that this is my last upload day of the month, and so today had to be my August check-in. As most of you already know, my regular uploads are every Wednesday and Sunday, although I have been scattering some bonus videos here and there. And at the end of every month, I film a check-in, updating you on the progress of my no-buy year. So this is my August check-in. August has been the easiest month so far. I kind of feel like I'm deep in my no-buy. Did I say this last month? If I said it last month, it's even truer this month. It's almost as if my no-buy is kind of a constant low-level form of meditation, and I've reached the most transcendental level of that meditation. I just feel like it's humming, it's sustained, it's become very comfortable, it's become deep. That's like the best word I can think of to describe it. My practice of my no-buy has deepened this month. It's deepened and it's settled. And in fact, this is the first month in which I barely bought anything. This is the first month in which I didn't place a Sephora order for replacements. My no-buy is a replacements only no-buy, I've learned is what it's called. I'm allowed to replace staple items when I run out of every single thing in the category of that item. All of the other months I've been placing like a little order here, a little order there, but I just checked my Sephora account and my last Sephora order was on July 11th. On July 11th, I replaced my primer. I had run completely out of primer at that point. And a week before that, still within the month of July, I had replaced my night cream. And in the month before that, I replaced my brow gel and I replaced something else. There were roughly 2 orders within every month, just replacing staple items. But that has come pretty much to a halt by this moment in the year. I did place an order from Amazon just this week, just a couple of days ago, to replace 3 things that I had run out of. But that means that I went from July 11th through to about August 25th, I would say, without buying a single thing. I mean, I did buy food and I bought things outside of the confines of my no-buy restrictions, like I purchased tickets to a play that I went to see, but I didn't buy any beauty products, not a single thing. It's the longest I've gone this year, and I absolutely love it. It used to be that I would look forward to the occasions on which I was allowed to replace something because it was a reason to place an order, it was a reason to get a package in the mail, it was an occasion to add in all of the samples to my Sephora order and to use my points for a point perk. But now I feel much more excited by the prospect of going weeks and weeks and weeks without having to buy a single thing. I was kind of annoyed actually that I had to break my streak when I placed that Amazon order this week. So that signifies a huge shift in thinking for me. Instead of looking forward to being allowed to buy a thing, basically looking forward to running out of stuff so that I have to spend money, instead of that, I've been more and more excited by every week that passes during which I have everything I need. And the order that I did place from Amazon, here is what it contained. I replaced my cleansing balm. I think I had been using previously a balm, but I replaced my first cleanse, my oil cleanse, with a cleansing oil that cost $7. I'll talk about this in my empties video, which is coming up very soon. At the end of the month, I always film my empties. So I'll let you know what I ran out of and what I replaced it with in that video. But needless to say, it was a small bottle of an inexpensive cleansing oil. I replaced my cotton pads. I had run out of Shiseido cotton pads, but instead of repurchasing those ones from Shiseido, I purchased the cotton pads from Muji, which is something I learned about from the comment section. It was a recommendation from one of you or some of you. And they're really cool. They're unbleached. I'll also show them in my empties video when I talk about having run out of the Shiseido ones. But I believe I even paid more ordering them from Amazon than you pay if you purchase them in the Muji store. But the Muji store is kind of a drive for me, so I didn't want to drive all the way there just to buy like a $4 packet of cotton pads, which is what I think they are. I'm not exactly sure, but I know that they're much less expensive than the Shiseido ones for about the same sized packet. I paid $6 ordering them on Amazon, and the Shiseido ones are $10. So already I was saving $4. I also repurchased a packet of sheet masks for $10. So that was the $10 sheet masks, the $6 cotton pads, and the $7 cleansing oil. That was my order. That means that I only spent $23 on beauty products this month. I recently learned that up until this month, I've been spending an average of $100 a month just replacing my staple products. I learned that when I made the calculations to film my video about how I had already made VIB Rouge during my no-buy year. So this month I went from spending an average of $100 on replacements to only spending $23. And I do think that part of that is just timing. I didn't happen to run out of any of my staple pricey skincare items this month, but I also hope that part of it is my no-buy kind of starting to settle. And it's not just settling in terms of the choices I'm making, although that is part of it. I chose to purchase a $7 cleansing oil instead of the $40 cleansing oil that I was using at the beginning of the year. So I'm starting to purchase less expensive things in certain categories, and I'm starting to purchase things that last longer. I've been thinking a lot more about how long something lasts as being an important aspect of its value, instead of just focusing on the upfront cost. So my no-buy is settling into my psyche and causing a change in that way. But I also think that the no-buy is kind of settling into the products that I own, if that makes sense. Everything's good. Like, I'm kind of good. Everything's sort of settled, everything's covered, and I feel like most things are gonna last me for months longer. I mean, I'm looking at my skincare and I can't see anything that I think I'm going to have to replace for months. So I've kind of hit a moment of change in my no-buy year, I think, just in terms of how fast things are turning over and how fast things are being emptied and how fast things are needing to be replaced. It's partly because of timing, but it's also partly because I think I've been making wiser purchases. So I didn't purchase anything from Sephora this month, but it was in spite of the fact that I actually physically went to a Sephora store twice during the month of August. The first time was with a friend. We spent the evening together at the Grove, which is a big mall in LA. We were going to see a movie, The Incredibles 2, which is amazing. We ate dinner in the French restaurant and the farmer's market, which is totally dreamy. And then we wandered around the mall for a little bit. And the friend that was with me is not really a makeup person, but she kind of wants to learn, and she wanted to get some stuff at Sephora. So we went in, but she didn't know what she wanted. She just had literally no idea. She was like, do you think I would look good in a lipstick? Do you think what should I use to be fancy? You know, it was that type of situation. We had the best time. We went all through Sephora, we swatched a million things, and I helped her pick out a couple of things. And I did come across something that allured me on that trip to Sephora. It was a Nude Sticks magnetic matte lip color in the shade Boho. It's like a gorgeous, strange grayish brown, and it's unlike anything that I have in my collection. And when I put it on in the store, I felt really chic. I felt really on trend. There was just something about the color that it gave me that feeling. I was like, this is a thing that I want to wear. And so I kind of filed it away in my head, and then I honestly pretty much forgot about it until this moment, telling you this story. It was a little drying. I think more than that product, I'm kind of interested in acquiring a grayish brown at some point in the distant future in my life. Maybe I'll try to mix one from lip products that I already have. But that was the only moment during that visit where I was like, you know, if I weren't on a no-buy, this would be my purchase. I would be looking for something to purchase. I would have found something I wanted, and I would be buying it now along with my friend. But obviously I didn't do that. I didn't feel a pang. I just sort of saw myself wanting it, and I was like, interesting. And then that was the end of it. So that trip to Sephora was a very positive experience. It was like enjoying makeup without having to spend money. And the most important and the central aspect of that shopping trip was the time that I was spending with my friend. It was all about our friendship, our connection, about what we had to offer each other. We were laughing, we were enjoying ourselves, and we could have had the exact same experience even if she hadn't been planning to purchase anything, and even if she hadn't purchased anything. And I also picked up a couple of sunscreen samples, which was very convenient. But I needed more sunscreen samples. I wanted to have at least 4 or 5 to film the intro to my search for the best mineral sunscreen. So the next weekend I was headed out to meet a friend, and I stopped by Sephora and picked up a couple of more sunscreen samples. And that was the Sephora trip in which I really spent time focusing on and swatching all of the things that I had been curious about, all of the things I was interested in. My first trip was kind of all about my friend, but when I was in Sephora by myself, I dug deep. I looked at everything, I swatched everything, and I already talked about that. What video? It was in my video about my feelings about new releases. I talked pretty extensively about the way that swatching things in real life changed my opinion of them, so I won't repeat myself right now, but I will link that video. Since I filmed that video, which is my Do I Want It video, only one thing is still hanging on, and that is the Dior face palette. I keep thinking about that gorgeous face palette. I think about it every day. I still want it. But curiously, neither the Hourglass Sparkle eyeshadow nor the Natasha Denona Camel palette is still on my mind. I don't want them anymore. How quickly that desire has evaporated. That was just a couple weeks ago, if that. Was it like a week and a half ago? It can't have been even 2 weeks ago that I was sitting here talking about how I want the Natasha Denona Camel palette, the Hourglass Shadow and Sparkle pot paint, and the Dior highlighting face palette. I was like, I want these 3 things. Now I only want one of them. How fleeting was that desire? And I would have bought them. I would have bought them in another lifetime, in another year. So the desire for the Dior face palette is still clinging to me, but gosh, we'll see how long it lasts. I've actually been thinking a lot about how many things I wanted this year that I don't want anymore. I do talk about this from time to time in my Do I Want It video, but I've actually been thinking about filming a whole video about it because I think I could pretty accurately go back through not only my Do I Want It videos, but my wish lists and even just my memories. I have a pretty good memory for the things I was thinking about over the course of the year. I think I could pretty faithfully tally up the things that I would have bought if I had never made this change. And that means I could probably, unfortunately, share how much money I would have spent. And because I don't have any expendable income this year pretty much, it will be a tally of how deep in debt I would be. That's terrifying, but I think I should do it. It was fun filming my makeup collection for you guys. I was so nervous about doing it. I was nervous about filming with my camera in my hand because I've never done that before, but it was way easier than I expected. I think it came out pretty well, and it kind of makes me want to film more videos in that style. Not necessarily vlogs, but videos where I'm showing things. I don't know what else do I have to show. I am going to do my declutter series. I'll definitely be filming that in a different style. I won't be up here in front of you. I'll somehow be focusing the camera on all of the items. And I was also thinking about decluttering my kitchen soon. I'm not quite there. If I go in order with the Marie Kondo method, I have to declutter my books first, and you guys probably don't want to see that. But it might be interesting to film the declutter of my kitchen. I have a lot of pots and pans and dishes and jars and things that I think are probably going to be going to the Goodwill. When I filmed my collection, I was curious to find out if you guys would think that it was bigger than you expected or smaller than you expected. Some of you probably thought it was quite big, but I know that a lot of you expected it to be bigger because there have been a lot of comments to that effect. And the thing that interested me the most about those comments, I love your comments. I love reading your comments. Thank you all so much. It's so fun to interact with you. I love hearing your stories. I love hearing your reactions and what you're up to. It's just the best. But those of you who commented about being surprised that my collection was smaller than you expected, more than one person commented that I must be very resourceful. How did the comments go? It was like, wow, I thought your collection was bigger. You must be really creative and resourceful. I think the implication is that I must be resourceful to be able to have done all of the makeup looks that I've done in every video over the course of the year with a collection that's the size of the collection that I have. And that fascinates me. That reaction fascinates me because I definitely haven't used everything in my collection on my face during all of my videos. In fact, I think if I were to pick out every product that I've actually put on my face for a video and separate that group out from the rest of what you saw in my collection video, that group would be much, much smaller than what you see here. I actually think it would be way less than half. Like I haven't even used half of what I own on my face for filming. I'm not even sure I've used half of what I own on my face this year at all. I don't know if I'm really that resourceful. I am creative. I'm a creative person. It's like my main superpower. I'm perennially, irrepressibly creative. So I know that that is true, but I don't really feel like I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel or trying to make the best of what I have or like reinventing my eyeshadows or anything like that. I'm just idly using what I have, reaching for this one day, reaching for that the next day. So the thing that those comments made me reflect on, and if you are one of those people who was surprised at the size of my collection because the makeup looks you've seen on my face have led you to believe that I had a bigger collection than that, if you did have that reaction, then maybe you can let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. But those reactions made me reflect on the YouTube consumer culture. It made me think that we are all being tricked into thinking that in order to have a diversity of makeup looks, we have to have a really big collection of makeup. We are forgetting, or we are being led to forget, how dramatically different you can look every single day of the week just using one eyeshadow palette, for example. We are being led to believe that in order to have a fresh new look and in order to keep up with the trends, you have to buy something. But you don't. And I think I've been learning that for myself on an even more fundamental level this year with my practice of duping the vibes. So for example, when the Jaclyn Hill Vault came out, that Dark Magic palette, I saw that and I was like, I don't have anything like that. I need to buy that if I want to do these bronzy, greeny, dusky, Prussian blue looks. And I can't buy it, so I can't do those looks. And then that very day, I sat down at my vanity and I tried to create the look that I was imagining, the Dark Magic look, and I did it. I did it with the products that I already own. So yes, I guess you would consider that resourcefulness. I guess I was being resourceful in that moment, but it was also kind of a necessity is the mother of invention situation. I'm being forced to be resourceful because of my no-buy year. So it's not necessarily just my nature or something about me. It's something about the project. It's something about the constraints that I've set for myself. I have had to be resourceful, and it has shown me that you don't need to buy something new every time you get an idea for a makeup look that you've never created before, or every time you see a new trend pop up that you think would really suit you. Just because the trend is new, it doesn't mean it requires new makeup. It might just require a little experimentation, a little makeup playtime. Another thing that's happened this month is that my desire to pare down my belongings has persisted. I would say it's actually even grown. I mentioned in my last video that I'm about to launch a series, a collection declutter series. I'm going to go through each category of my makeup and thoroughly declutter. I'm not sure how much of it I'll actually be getting rid of. I don't think I'm going to be getting rid of like half of my lip products and half of my eyeshadows. It's not going to be that dramatic. I just really want to weed out the weeds, You know, I want to get it from 105% full down to 90 or 85% full, my makeup storage. I just can't shake the feeling that I still have a little bit too much. I don't feel like I'm swimming in what I have. I don't feel like I'm lost in what I have. I did feel that way at the beginning of the year, and I felt that way also before we moved, which was about a year and a half ago at this point. We moved from Michigan. It's worth letting you guys know that I got rid of a lot of stuff right before that move, a lot of makeup. I gave away a lot of stuff to some friends. So what you saw in my collection video isn't a representation of absolutely everything that I've collected since I started overspending on makeup in a serious way after the 2016 presidential election. That was when I really started acquiring things like a mad woman. But my collection that you saw in that video is significantly smaller than the amount of everything that I purchased over the course of the past couple of years, because a lot of it has come in and gone out of my life just in that space of time, which is actually kind of alarming when I say it out loud. I don't like the idea that I acquired a bunch of stuff only then to turn around and get rid of it. I hope I never do that again. When you go through the Marie Kondo method, which I'm in the middle of, the lengthy process of condoing my belongings, the first thing that you deal with is your collection of clothing. And that's as far as I've gotten still. So I have condoed my closet and shoes. I've been very pleased this month with how much more organized my closet is and how much less stuff there is in the house that falls into the category of Hannah's clothes and shoes. There's just so much less of it around. There's none hiding in corners or in bags anywhere. All of it is put away in my one little closet, and everything has a place. It's never been that way before, ever in my adult life, and it's been amazing. But I do have to say, I still feel like my closet is 100% full instead of being 90% full. So I kind of feel like I have to take one more pass at it. If you guys would want to see that, like a closet tour and last pass at decluttering my clothes, let me know in the comment section. I don't know if that would be interesting to you, but it's a small enough space and it's few enough things that I probably could do what I did with my makeup and skincare. Like, I wouldn't be showing you absolutely every garment, but I would be kind of showing you where everything is and about how much there is and kind of what everything looks like all together. I could totally do that. I'm sorry that I didn't film the super intense wardrobe clean out that I did last month. It was so hard, you guys. It was so hard. It was very intense and very private, and I actually didn't even do it when Joe was home. Like, I waited until he was gone. It took me a couple of days, and every day I had a couple of hours where Joe was out of the house for some reason, and that was the time I spent doing that. I just felt, oh man, I love clothes. I love clothes. I don't think I can say that I love clothes more than makeup, but they do have like a hold on me that I don't know if makeup, no, I can't say that because makeup really does have a hold on me in a way. I just have more. I've had clothes for longer my whole life. I've had clothes my whole life, obviously. I've been collecting clothes for my whole life, since I was a sentient being. Like, as a 4-year-old child, I was screaming if I wasn't allowed to wear my blue dress to school that day, even though my blue dress was dirty because I had worn it for the previous 5 days in a row. Like, clothes have been part of my identity, my body, part of the way I have enjoyed my life for my whole life. And my relationship with makeup has only really been intense in that way for like the past 3 years. I did enjoy makeup before that and wear it, but it didn't intensify to the fever pitch at which it is today until a couple of years ago. So I just have a lot of history with my clothes and with the way that my clothes express my identity. I had some really special things. I had a Dries Van Noten blouse that I had purchased in a consignment shop in Antwerp when I was working as an actress in Belgium, which is a weird thing that I did. I'll tell you about it sometime. If we ever do a Q&A, I'll tell you about that. Anyway, I had this unbelievably beautiful salmon colored silk blouse with these weird puffy long sleeves, and it had been completely destroyed by sweat. Like the underarms were just totally stained and absolutely, it was unwearable and unsalvageable. That's the kind of thing that I had to let go of. It had sentimental value because I had purchased it during this specific time in my life, this really exciting, special time. It was a designer piece, so in a way it was kind of a collector's item, even though I couldn't wear it anymore. I hadn't worn it for years. The color was my perfect color. Like, it's the color that I look the best in of all the colors. And even though I couldn't wear it, it was hard for me to let go of it for that reason. The fantasy of the thing as it had once been was still really deeply intertwined with its fibers, and it had just been hanging in my closet and hanging in my closet. It was in my closet in Portland. It was in my other closet in Portland. It was in my closet in Ann Arbor. It was in my closet here. The emotional work that I had to do to let that go, and other things like it, lots of other things like it. It took all that I had. And I don't think that I would have been able to get it together to really be honest with myself, like a true, deep, actual tidying up in the way that Marie Kondo suggests. If I had had a camera on me or another person in the room. I didn't even listen to a book on tape or watch YouTube. I listened to some dreamy ambient music, which is what she suggests. And I went deep, deep into the zone, deep into that place of painful, radical honesty. And I had to be there in order to let go of as many things as I did. So that is why I didn't film that. It would have made an incredible video, I have to admit, because the sheer volume of clothing that I had compared to the little space that it fits into now is shocking. It's staggering. And if I do film a closet tour, I'll describe it to you. Like, I'll show you the other spaces in the house in which I had clothing stored before, and I'll kind of describe how much stuff I had so you can kind of get a general idea. It would have been cool to film it, but I couldn't have filmed it and also done what I did. So I chose doing what I did. It had to be done. And I'm so happy that I did it. It feels amazing. I do have to say though, I have been struggling a little bit with clothes this month, even over the past 2 months, but it's really been this month that it's gotten hard because it's been hot. It's been truly hot in LA, like the kind of hot where the only thing you can wear is like loose linen and cotton that floats around your body. Nothing even remotely long sleeved, not even long sleeved floaty cotton. There have been a couple mornings where I put on something that I didn't think would be too hot and then immediately was like, ugh, I can't wear this right now. And so that has really, really restricted the number of items in my closet that I have access to right now. My wardrobe for this kind of weather is minuscule. I mean, it's not minuscule. What am I talking about? There are plenty of clothes for me to clothe my body every day of the week. It's sufficient. It's just not as much variety as I'm used to having. I have a lot of cool weather clothes because I lived in Portland, Oregon for a long time, and then I lived in Michigan for 3 years. So I have a lot of really beautiful sweaters, wool pants, and then I have a lot of transitional things like lightweight, long-sleeved tops or faux leather slouchy pants, like things that I can actually wear most of the year in LA because it's not always this hot. It's usually more like transitional, mild, balmy. I have a lot of clothes that work for balmy, but I haven't been able to wear any of them. I've been having to stick to the same like 4 or 5 linen t-shirts, the same like 3 pairs of loose drapey pants, and it's just boring. I feel like shopping for clothes. It makes me want to buy stuff. But I also wonder if that's the route in which I want to go. Like, do I want to buy more hot weather clothing next year when my no-buy is over? Or do I want to work on being happy with what I have? Because I have enough. It's not like I look shabby. It's not like I have certain occasions on which I don't have anything that will work. You know, like I have enough hot weather clothes to look dressed up if I need to be casual if I need to go on a walk if I need to. You know, like I have enough. I just want more because I love clothes. So I have to decide what I'm going to do. My guess right now is that I will probably make 1 or 2 carefully considered purchases when it gets really hot in 2019, just to diversify my hot weather wardrobe a little bit. But I'm not sure. Right now, I feel like I have too many clothes, but I also feel like I want more. So there's kind of like a battle going on inside of me when it comes to my clothes. I'm still sorting it out. Luckily, I have 4 more months left of my no-buy, so there's plenty of time. Lastly, I wanted to mention the Robert Lustig book that I talked about in my last check-in. I don't have it on me, it's in the other room, but I've read it, I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to talk about it in this video because I think I might do a whole separate dedicated video. I was thinking about starting a little series of bonus videos that are all about books, like a little book club series. So if you read that book with me and you're interested in hearing my thoughts on it and also discussing it with me in the comments, keep an eye out for the book club video, because what I'm going to do is film a little chat about that book and then also suggest another book to read next. So those of you out there who are readers, who are always asking about my books and asking for book recommendations, hopefully that will be a project that interests you. We can all read together, maybe about a book a month. And I'll definitely diversify it. I read a bunch of different kinds of books, so it won't always be books about brain chemistry. Maybe it'll be a poetry book one month, a murder mystery one month, a nonfiction essays another month, or something like that. So keep an eye out. I'm gonna do it. Hannah's Book Club coming soon. And let me know if there are any other videos that you guys want to see. I would never have filmed my collection tour if it hadn't been requested. I didn't understand that that was something that you wanted. Like, I didn't think about that on my own. So if you can think of anything else, do let me know, because I ended up really loving filming that video. What have I been thinking about? Products I've hit pan on, that's a video I was thinking about filming. Any makeup looks you want to see, any specific products you want to see me use, anything at all, let me know in the comments below and I will add it to my list. And that is it. That is my August check-in. I want to say again that your comments have just been warming my heart so much lately. I'm so proud of all of you who are making genuine change in your own life because of starting to think about consumerism and starting to think about the difference between pleasure and happiness. And I know it's different for everyone. Not everyone needs a no-buy or a low-buy. Not everyone has a problem with makeup or a problem with spending. But to those of you for whom my content has resonated so much that you've ended up reaching out to tell me about it, I just want to say thank you. It has been such a bright, bright light in my life this month, hearing from you, seeing you, knowing that you are all out there and that we're in this together. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll remember to take extra good care of yourself this week so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.